Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Flute Worldwide Arena, and you're welcome again. I am Eze. Then today we are tackling on an issue which is an alternative fingering. Alternative fingering on the flute. I'll be using the flute as an example so that you know it as well. So now, when we talk about the alternative fingering, it simply means that there is a basic fingering, and then there is another fingering which can be used to replace that fingering that is already there, which we use as the basic one. So, for example, others call it fake fingering, others also call it substitute fingering, and others also call it replace fingering. So now, what does this fingering do? What does it do to a sound, um, to a movement, and then to this thing, our body posture in general, our thinking ability, everything? What does this fingering do to us? So now I'll start with this one. Um, when we have an alternative fingering as compared to the original one, the basic one, it usually looks simple. Yes, it looks simple in a way that when you have this basic one and an alternative one, let me give you a simple scenario. I'll take my flute. Uh, you have this B flat, which you play this one, and then you come down, you play this one, and then this one is the basic one that you play. But when you take its alternative fingering, you come this way. Instead of pressing here, you come and press here. This shoe key. There is a lever here. So you press, the effect will happen here. So instead of playing this, you come here, then you play this one. So now, aside it looking simple, so let me give you another example. If you have D and then you want to play, you can easily play it here without playing anything again, as compared to playing it like this or like this. You see? So that one is another typical example. Let me give you the last one before we go. So when you have F, F like this, and then you go to F sharp, this F sharp, if you go to its alternative fingering, it can be like this. Instead of playing like this, you come like this, then you play. This one is another alternative fingering. Now, let's go. You see a very different thing as you go on, you move on. So now another point is that it helps us avoid awkward movements. Awkward movements, as in, for example, you have a piece which goes like you have to move from C to D, or C sharp to D, C to D, and then C sharp to D. So now you can go this way. You can go to the normal C, and then you go to D. What about moving from the C sharp to the D? You have to be coming like this. And then the rate at which you might not take off all the fingering at the same time is very high. The possibility is very high. So you simply go here. So you take this your D, then you take this your C sharp, the C sharp, and then the D. So you just move here like this. So it will be somewhere like C sharp, then you have your D. This is quite nasal as compared to this C sharp. You see that this one is very heavy as compared to the first one, which is. Yes. So it helps us avoid awkward movement. And then another example is this one, moving from F sharp to G, moving from F sharp to G, and then back. It will look like this: F sharp to G, and then back again. Back. Let me play for you to get it. Uh, so now let me use the alternative fingering so that you get that one also. That one will be G to F sharp, or F sharp to G. Yeah, I'm back. So you see that moving these two fingering together is quite difficult as compared to taking off only this one and then playing. Yes, so it helps us avoid awkward movement, and then it affects the pitch that we produce. That is how fast you can move when there is a piece and then you are supposed to play. And there is a piece and then you are supposed to play, and then this piece is having this fast passage that you have to use. It's obvious that it's not always the basic one that will work for you. You might be stuck with it. Alternative fingering affects the pitch that we produce on the instrument. Now, for example, as I demonstrated the first one, you see that when you use the normal fingering, the pitch is far different from when you use the alternative fingering. Its fastness, as you can use in playing some fast passages, versus the normal fingering chart that we use. And then some alternative fingerings, when you use them, the pitch you produce tend to be slower than when you produce the a sound from the normal one, which is the basic fingering. And then some of the alternative fingering, they have their sound becomes more broader than the basic ones. Yes, and some of the alternative fingering, they tend to be louder than the basic one, and the reverse, that is, they tend to be very soft than the normal fingering. Yes. And then another point is that some piece just requires you to use some alternative fingering to get your way through, or else you'll be stranded at a point where you might not even know what to do. So it is advisable to know this fingering so that when you get to a certain passage or a phrase where you are supposed to use another fingering, or the basic fingering that you are using does not work for you very efficient, then you just shift to this alternative fingering, you use it, and I believe you will go through as you become more used to this alternative fingering. And another point is one is able to understand other players in terms of when they are explaining things to you. For example, if you get a more advanced player at the master class, and then this person knows these basic fingerings, and at the same time he knows these alternative fingerings, and then he is trying to let you know some alternative fingering which you can use in your passage to affect the sound and then affect the movements in general, and then you are not getting it, it becomes very sudden and then uncalled for, and that's what I will use. So it's very necessary for you to know them, even if you won't use it at in your piece at this stage. You are supposed to know them. So if you know them, it becomes very helpful and then very efficient when you tend to use them. Some of the disadvantages that we get from this fingering is that we tend to use it more when we know them, because they look simple, and then they are easy to use. At some point we tend to overuse them, and then we get to be used to them rather than the basic one. Then we tend to forget those ones, which is the the basic ones that we use. And then you can go for an audition, or you might be doing a video for your ABRSM or other examinations, and then you tend to use these fingerings instead of the basic ones. They will not pardon you. You will be questioned for it, because you are not using it at the right time. Yes. So if you don't use it at the right time, then probably you'll be penalized for it. You'll be questioned for not using it at the right time. But instead of using it, using the basic ones, you go and use the alternative fingerings. At times, it won't work for you that way. Yeah. In summary, the advantage in this one is that it's very necessary if you know them. Use them as you go on with your day by day activities as you play the flute. Just try to use them, and then you get used to them. It won't happen by night. Then you start playing this alternative finger, and then at first, when you are introduced to them, it will be like awkward, something like that. But as soon as you start using them and you get used to them, you love it. You love it. So the advice is that let's try and learn this alternative fingerings, as it will help us in our free journey. This alternative fingerings will lead us to another topic or section, which we'll call it trill keys. So where we will learn these trill keys, what trill keys they are about, and then everything about trill keys, its importance, its disadvantages, everything. We'll talk about them. So until then, it is a goodbye.